Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Osterhout, the executive producer here at Lincoln Square, and it has been another week. So I welcome. I mean, that's about all I can say about it, really. So I'm always. It's such a pleasure to have Max Burns, Democratic strategist and the founder of Third Degree Strategies. Max, how are you?
How are you, man? I'm doing better than the White House is right now. I can't imagine anyone I would rather not be in the world than the people who have to go talk to Trump right after he's out of this Institute for Peace meeting. He is furious about this Supreme Court decision, and that just brightens my heart for the weekend.
Yeah, it really does. Look, I think, this week I've been trying to think about the story of this week, and it is just a crumbling. It's just a crumbling, a continuation of the crumbling. But it seems like the cracks in the Trump administration are becoming total fissures, and you're starting to see sunlight between the cracks. The polling is down. We're going to talk a little bit about polling today. We're definitely going to cover the tariff news from the Supreme Court this morning. That's the big breaking news of the day and possibly of the week. But that leads into economy, the talk of the economy, and his board of peace, spelled BORED, because he's definitely bored of peace already. And it's very boring, as you can see. And later in the show, I'm going to quiz you. I'm going to quiz you, Max. We're going to pull in some quotes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you're always the smartest guy in the room. And
well, this will be a great chance to disabuse people of that illusion.
Yes, yeah, for sure. So I'm going to pull some quotes out and see if you can figure out who said it. Okay, so let's start with the SCOTUS tariff situation. Were you surprised by this?
I actually was. I mean, not that it went against Trump, because it was fairly clear they would have had to invent something really creative to defend this. But then it went 6-3. I mean, Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett, two Donald Trump appointees, who said very clearly and almost angrily in Neil Gorsuch's case that this was always nonsense, that there was no foundation to claim any of the powers, and outright calling it an illegal and unprecedented abuse of power. Right? That is a slap in the face to the White House, and it puts them in a really indefensible position, because the Supreme Court didn't just say this was wrong. They said that every argument the government put forward was false and was wrong, and that there is no way that this can be argued legally. That's a pretty decisive statement for the John Roberts court.
Yeah, I'll say, and there it was Gorsuch who wrote a concurrence, correct? And it was like 41 pages or something. And you've been kind of perusing this decision. What's your make?
Yeah, I have very little to do, so I've been reading it. But I not to spoil the illusion for folks, but I wrote down some lines from this. The biggest from John Roberts, where he says at the end of his statement, the government concedes as it must that the president enjoys no authority to impose tariffs during peacetime, and it does not defend the tariffs as an exercise of war-making power. The United States, after all, is not at war with every nation in the world. Now, MAGA might disagree with that, but I mean, that is one of the clearest statements John Roberts has ever made on a statement of law. And in Neil Gorsuch's concurrence, which is a lengthy piece in which he attacks every single member of the court in some part, from the people he agreed with to the people he disagrees with, paints a picture of a Supreme Court that is exhausted by these questions, where there are deep divisions, where people who are even within the same party, like Gorsuch and Clarence Thomas, Gorsuch seems exhausted by how intellectually dishonest Clarence Thomas's dissent is. Wow. And he's saying it in words that will be preserved forever as an official decision, that he thinks his colleagues are full of it. He's tired of this. This was wrong, and this shouldn't even have been an argument.
And so what was Clarence Thomas's take? Have you looked into it at all?
So I haven't reached Clarence Thomas's yet.
You've had 2 hours.
Yeah,
now.
I know, right? I've seen what Gorsuch says, and he is not impressed, which is weird, because Gorsuch idolized Clarence Thomas for his career. But to see now Clarence Thomas, Mr. Judicial Originalism, Mr. If the text doesn't say it, you can't do it, taking something that clearly says you can only do this during a declared war and saying, actually, that doesn't matter. And the president probably knows best here. It just shows you how morally vacant that conservative wing of the court has become. That they're willing to defend things that if a Democrat had said them, this would have been laughed out of court.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. So let me ask you this. We talked a little bit in the green room about the Supreme Court itself, and I think over the past year we've come to sort of see it as a monolithic, impenetrable presence,
Yeah.
despite the three liberals on the court. But turns out they're human beings, and they feel they got. It sounds like they're in their feelings right now.
Yeah, a little bit.
What
I
does
mean, they're
this?
human beings. They're not great examples of them. I mean, we have to remember, despite this decision, this Supreme Court has voted lockstep to enable vast amounts of abuse of power from Donald Trump. They have been on his side far more than they've been against it. But just like you noted with the White House and with the culture as a whole, we're starting to see things fray and come apart. And now, even this court, even Donald Trump's own appointees, have found something that stinks so much that they cannot support it and that they can't find even the shadow of a legal argument to defend it. Another line that I wanted to note is Roberts saying the president asserts the extraordinary power to unilaterally impose tariffs of unlimited amount, duration, and scope. In light of the breadth, history, and constitutional context of that authority, he must identify clear authorization to exercise it. He hasn't. I mean, John Roberts usually does not speak in declarative sentences, but
Right.
that is it. I mean, he said, you didn't do it. You don't have it. It doesn't exist.
I used to teach college English, and it reminds me of notes that I would write on really bad research papers where I'm like, you're not doing this. You're not doing it. It does feel like a dressing down to some degree.
Yeah.
Um, do you think, what does this mean for the potential? Do you think there's a potential for a shakeup at the court? Do you think we're looking at retire? I mean, look, members of Congress are jumping shit.
Yep.
Republicans are like, I didn't sign up for this shit. I don't want to be here anymore. Right? And do you think that that is a possibility with this Supreme Court?
Yeah. I mean, we've heard some talk in the last couple of weeks that Justice Alito, who was appointed under George W. Bush, may want to leave, that he was considering retirement. But I may be just going crazy, but Neil Gorsuch's opinion is so visibly angry and it attacks his colleagues so directly that it sounds like a person who's done with it, who is so tired of this, and that this is in a way his big statement that's going to stand as the last thing he does. I could be wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it is not a statement you write if you're looking to make coalitions on the court in the future.
I mean, right. He's burning it to the ground.
Yeah.
If everyone, if you're just joining us on YouTube today, we are exclusively on YouTube. Mostly we go through Substack, we go through LinkedIn for some reason, which is an interesting choice. But we go through X, we go through Facebook. But today we're exclusively on YouTube. Great to see you all. If you have comments, please leave them in the chat. I love running your comments. If you like the show with me and Max this end of this wonderful, wonderful week, please share and like and subscribe and do all of those things. Max, I want to turn now to the economy because this is tied very explicitly to the economy, and
Yeah.
Trump is it was one of his primary a driver of his campaign, immigration, economy. He was very strong on both. And now he is, metaphorically and maybe literally shitting the bed on the economy. So this is net approval on 4 different issues. But the economy, you see, is negative 23. Cost of living, he's underwater pretty dramatically. Any normal world, the tariff decision should be a celebration. He doesn't have to do it anymore, right? This failed, terrible policy that has put, by some estimates, thousands of businesses out of business. It's cost each of us somewhere around $1,000 to $1,500 just this year alone, and that number would have increased next year, certainly. This should be a celebration for him. What's going on here?
Well, that chart is what it looks like when you promise to fix inflation on day one and you don't do it. When you tell people that rising prices are Joe Biden's fault and they're the worst thing in the world and you should hate anyone who makes your prices go up, and then you don't fix it and prices are now higher than they were at any point than under Joe Biden's administration, your chart looks like that. People lose faith in you. I mean, we're seeing now in multiple polls, including the Focus Data poll out last week, that a majority of Americans now blame Donald Trump for this economy. They say the economy is bad, in many cases, the worst they've ever felt it, and that they plan to go vote based on that. I mean, we've reached the point now that a quarter of Republicans who voted for Donald Trump in 2024 say that they're really struggling to get by and that they blame Donald Trump and Republicans for that. And they've made it really easy to blame them. I mean, Donald Trump last week said he doesn't need anything from Congress for the next 4 years. He's done everything he wants to do. Really? I mean, the Wall Street Journal just said the cost of Levi's jeans and McCormick spices went up almost 10% last month. You sure this is where you want to leave it, buddy? Because a lot of people are struggling to stay in their homes, and now it's creeping up the economic chain. A lot of people who aren't used to feeling that struggle are really struggling now, and you see it reflected in these polls.
Yeah, and this is remarkable. We ran this earlier today on Behind the Numbers with Rick and Andrew Wilson. This is net approval by demographic, and it's striking. The non-college is underwater. These numbers are catastrophic. Let's say you are, a campaign manager for the next Democratic candidate for president, or you're running a campaign for House or for Senate right now. How are you using this as a strategist in your favor? We hear a lot from Trump. We hear the news loves covering Trump. We love covering Trump. It is a derangement syndrome to some degree, but Democrats need to get in front of this. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's affordability, right? I mean, these numbers show us one good thing, which is that the shift to Trump in 2024 wasn't some permanent realignment. It was people who were frustrated. And now they're equally frustrated, even more so, with Donald Trump and Republicans. We saw in the Focus Data poll that Democrats now lead by 4 points among voters who plan to vote in the midterms on economic issues. That may not sound like a lot, but that is a massive swing. That's enough to flip more than enough House seats and even potentially a couple Senate seats that were safe just a couple months ago. I mean, voters now, there's a group of voters today that are listening to Democrats on this who were not listening 6 months ago, who did not think, they thought maybe I dislike Donald Trump, but I don't trust Democrats to have a plan either. Now's the chance to get into those communities and talk about affordability issues, because Republicans are canceling town halls again. They have no answer for these problems. They have no bills in Congress to address the cost of living or housing affordability or healthcare affordability. Democrats do. And we've seen that when Democrats talk about it, Democrats win. So we need not just national messaging, but every local candidate needs to understand their local economic situation and make that the linchpin of everything they talk about.
Absolutely. And I think, the Republicans and MAGA and the Facebook crowd and the media bubbles and all of this, it was always, always, always the Biden crime syndicate family, the Biden crime family, the this, the that. What's the one, you say affordability. What's just a clean thing we can say over and over and over?
Donald Trump is making you poor. I mean, people feel it. People know it. Middle-class people who could afford their mortgages a year ago can't today. You tell people Donald Trump is making you poor, and you show them how.
Yeah.
And by the way, these people are the same people who were skeptical of government under Democrats and wanted to understand where the money was going. Now's a great time to ask, all that tariff money Donald Trump took off of you when he picked your pocket, Where's that money?
Where is
Let's
it?
have Congress and Mike Johnson pass a law and audit where that money is. Because now that it's been illegally taken, it belongs to you. It's your money. Let's see it.
Well, this was a back to the tariff. Kavanaugh had made a fuss about how difficult it would be to untangle these tariffs and all that. That's not his job, right? But it is going to be a mess to untangle the tariff situation. I feel like next time you go to the store and you can't afford the stuff you usually get, or you're having trouble paying your mortgage, it's because you got Trump change, right?
Yeah.
Trump change in your pocket. That's all you got.
I mean, you think about this tariff, right? The Supreme Court has effectively said Donald Trump basically stole $500 billion from American taxpayers.
Right.
Congress can fix that. They can pass a law that makes this illegal in the future. They could pass a law returning that money to you. Will Mike Johnson do it? Because if Republicans aren't going to do it and stand up and do their job as the Supreme Court's telling them to do, there are plenty of Democrats who will. And I think a lot of voters are going to have that choice to make in November. We have to make it easy for them to see it.
I suspect, with this Congress, the refunds will go to the top, to the corporations whose tariffs, who essentially pay the tariffs, but obviously passed it down to us. I just thought of that.
Yeah. I mean, it needs to be mentioned how much Donald Trump depended on these tariffs for everything. His legacy is in tatters. His presidency is now non-functional. That $12 billion farmer bailout he was going to give to American farmers to offset the bankruptcies his tariffs caused, can't do that now that the money's been stolen, according to the Supreme Court.
Right.
That $2,000 tariff rebate he was going to give out, can't do that now. His entire economic policy depended on the Supreme Court giving him these tariffs. Now he has worse than nothing. He has a bunch of people he lied to who have made plans that money's coming. Good luck.
Good luck. And so I want to get to the State of the Union because in a second, but let's telescope out because internationally, every country has had to scramble and create reciprocal tariffs and a tariff regime against the United States. That doesn't magically go away either. I mean, there's a world in which they're like, you know what? Fuck you guys. We will not remove our tariffs.
Yeah. This debate with Canada over free trade just got a lot more interesting. This is why so many people, including people like Thomas Massie and Republican Congressman Don Bacon, said maybe it's not the best idea in the world to go punch every single world leader directly in the crotch. That might come back to bite us a little bit when we need to rebuild coalitions. But hey, Trump knew best and nobody stood up to him. So that's your Republican Party for you.
Well, that's quite an image, Max. You just a second ago, you mentioned this whole administration is just crumbling. His presidency, the legacy, it is in shambles. It really is. And it's not just us who have been saying it for years. It is now, as we've seen, the polling is in the crapper. He is doing terribly. His policies aren't working. Inflation is high. Employment is not great. Our economy, it's all of it. And then on coming Tuesday, he has to get out and sell this shit sandwich to everyone in the State of the Union. So, one, what is he going to say? I mean, I think we can all maybe predict a little bit. But two, I'm going to hire you as his speechwriter.
Oh boy, thanks. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I want to know what is he going to say, and if he were, a real politician, what should he say?
I mean, he's going to come out and say everything's great, that inflation has been fixed, that prices are actually down, that everything is solved, that it's just the lying media, that the economy is great, that the job numbers are fake. And my guess is he'll focus quite a bit on foreign policy, because when Democrats and Republicans in the White House have a tough time in the economy and domestically, when you have nothing to show for the 2 years that you've been working, You focus on foreign policy. They'll say the board of peace is doing amazing, that we're solving all the problems in the world, that we're more respected than we've ever been, that we have the oil in Venezuela, and it's going to make everybody rich. Things that you can't disprove, things that most Americans are not that familiar with. Because what's he going to say domestically? ICE is the most hated organization in America. We've had to withdraw it from cities. We lost on tariffs. We've lost on inflation. We've lost on affordability. But at least the tech billionaires are doing well. Can't say that. So you just say that. And maybe by then we'll be at war with Iran. So he'll have that to talk about.
I mean, okay. So where do I go from here? I want to just dip in a little bit. I want to get to our quotes of the week and see if I can stump you. I don't think I'm gonna, but I'll see if I can. But first, I want to just, I wasn't really planning on talking about the Board of Peace because I'm bored of it as haha. But what is the Board of Peace? What is the point of this thing? I still like, it is so dumb to me that I have not even taken 20 minutes to read about it.
I feel like Donald Trump is in the same position as you. He's sitting up there at the podium saying, what is this? What am I doing here? On the face, it's supposed to be some coalition about solving war and creating global peace, but it's only populated by some of the most notorious warmongers and autocrats in the world.
Right.
Most of them who don't even have the money to contribute to this thing anyway. Mm-hmm. So far, I think the only money that's been given is this $10 billion Donald Trump pledged, which is supposed to come out of tariff money. So that's not going to happen now.
Right.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see if we ever hear from this board again after this big event.
Well, let's run the Kushner little clip.
You've seen today is just a small sample of the work that's been done. And I really want to thank the entire team that's worked so hard at this. A lot of these people are volunteers. They're doing this not for any personal gain. People are not personally profiting from this. They are really doing this for their children, for their grandchildren, and because they want to see peace.
Always inspires confidence when somebody has to tell you that nobody is gaining personally, right?
Yeah,
I swear.
There's definitely no corruption that we can measure.
Yes. So that doesn't totally inspire confidence. And like you said, Trump has given $10 billion, but from the tariffs, I guess.
From somewhere, yeah, allegedly. Who knows?
This thing is a turd. I don't love it. Okay, so it's just like I don't even know what else to say about it. It just doesn't resonate. It's a dumb thing, and it seems like their distractions are getting dumber, right? Like if this is meant to signal some sort of achievement, it's just really weak. And now he's releasing UFO files, which 7 months ago Seth Meyers said, we're one Epstein file away from him saying UFOs are real, and we all laughed, ha ha ha. Now he's doing that as well.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. It's all distraction. The Board of Peace, as much as it annoys me, this ballroom is a distraction. We've reached the point where, and now with the UK taking action on Andrew Windsor, right. We've reached the point of fear in the White House about these Epstein files that any distraction will do. And we're literally reduced to aliens, and where we're at. This is Alex Jones level stuff.
It really is. Yeah. I think speaking of, ballroom, 90,000 square feet ballroom, all of this, that, and the other. But the thing is, you're absolutely right. The Epstein files hang over everything. It is an indictment of our entire system. And for that reason, I really think it's not just Trump defending it. The thing about the people in the Epstein files is I keep thinking about this. Like when you're in high school and you want to have a party and you want to have beer at the party, you don't invite people who are going to rat you out, right? Yeah. Your invite list consists exclusively of people and the personnel that you can trust to keep your secret about this stupid beer party. And it feels like the Epstein files very similar. Anybody who's in there who didn't immediately push themselves or excuse themselves from it, we know who they are. Is accountability, this is another thing we weren't exactly going to talk about, but I think we really have to. Is accountability coming?
I hope so. I mean, this argument in the United States has been like, well, we know these names, but what can you really do? And the United Kingdom just showed you actually can do a lot.
Yeah.
There are lots of ways to hold people accountable for this. People certainly misappropriated funds at businesses to do these things, misappropriated public information, misused public positions. There's a lot of accountability you can do. And the fact that other countries are now digging into these and actually bringing forth cases really makes it stand out that we are not, right? And it is just the basis of this Trump idea that there was no plan for this. His hope was to get the White House so that he wouldn't be held accountable. They didn't expect these to actually come out. And now they have no plan for how to manage the fallout.
None. Okay, well, with that, I would love to test your knowledge of the news this week. Are you ready?
There's not much knowledge to test, but let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to give you four. There's 4 quotes. The 4th is a real bonus. I want you to tell me who said it, and for bonus points, you can tell me the context. Let's start with the first one. We fixed it. They ought to be saying thank you. This might be the toughest one.
Oh my God. It sounds like a J.D. Vance thing. Just his love of that word, but I'm not sure.
I'll give you a hint. They ought to be saying thank you. They is referring to Minnesotans.
Oh, is this Tom Homan?
Roll the clip.
No. They broke the border. President Trump fixed the border. They let millions of people in this country illegally release kids on unvetted sponsors. President Trump's fixing that. And what did the state of Minnesota break? They were a sanctuary state. Their county jails weren't working with us across the state. So you know what? We fixed it. They ought to be saying thank you. The state's safer because of that. And President Trump gets another win. President Trump gets a win every day.
Yeah, another big win.
Another big win for old Trump. And that guy talks like a 1948 crime boss from Chicago. I don't know. It's a weird thing that he does, right?
Who also thinks Minneapolis has a border with another country. So,
right. The border, right? It's like Berlin back in the Cold War. It's okay. Next quote. I think you'll get this one. It's the perfect Trump economy, the Goldilocks economy.
Oh, this is
If anybody in the chat knows it, put it in.
Yes, someone beat me to it to spare me my humiliation. Is this Scott Bessent?
No, dumber.
Oh my God, dumber than Scott Bessent? That's a challenge.
Do you give up? You want me to roll the clip?
I do. I surrender.
Okay.
Assess the macroeconomic story for us and how it's impacting citizens today.
Absolutely. It's the perfect Trump economy in 2026. It's what we call a Goldilocks economy. The last time we saw what we're seeing now.
All right, let's get rid of that guy.
I forgot Peter Navarro existed. Thanks for bringing that back into my consciousness.
Yeah. Oh my God. But you agree, dumber.
For sure. Undeniably.
Yeah. Okay. The third, it's the Epstein class. And I think, to be fair, this could be a few people, but there's one very notable Republican who said this.
The Epstein class. This could literally be any Republican in the House.
It's the Epstein class.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
All right, roll it.
Donald Trump told us that even though, he had dinner with these kinds of people in New York City and West Palm Beach, that he would be transparent, but he's not. He's still in with the Epstein class. This is the Epstein administration, and they're attacking me for trying to get the
Massey.
I don't like the way this is trending, man. Stop the count. This is rigged.
Well, I think I hope you'll get the next one, because I'm sure you've seen this video several times, probably watched it over and over and over the past day or so. The quote is, "Where's Kid?"
Oh my God. Yes, the proof that hell does exist. Robert F. Kennedy's big sweaty sauna video.
Yeah, let's roll the clip.
Began to preach, cars packed with speakers, the G's with the 40s and the chicks with beepers, the northern lights in the southern comfort, and it don't even matter.
Where's Kid?
All the
Right, get out
crackheads,
of here.
critics, the
Yeah.
cynics.
I can't watch. What the fuck is up with those jeans?
Why is everybody so oily? Like what? There are so many questions I have about this video, aside from it finally proving empirically that there is a physical hell, and it's wherever Kid Rock and Robert F. Kennedy are doing push-ups in a sauna together.
He's got his little bike in the sauna while Kid
Yeah.
Rock does push-ups. It is the weirdest kind of like MAGA porn I've ever seen. It's really bizarre. And the bunker is like, that's a real bunker. There's some, I don't know what's happening in that space. Is that Kid Rock's place, or is that RFK Jr.'s place?
I'm glad RFK's keeping busy. Apparently there's not enough to do, so he's got time to do this stuff.
Well, I mean, he's already solved all disease by banning red dye. So we're all healthier now. So yeah, go get it. Let him cook. Max, you did okay. You did okay on the quiz. If you can come back next
I'll
week,
take it.
We'll do another quiz. Maybe not quotes. Maybe I'll quiz you on another thing.
No, I strive for mediocrity. It's good for the people to see that despite what I say on Twitter, I don't in fact know everything.
Yeah, it's good to set levels, to set expectations every now and again. For our call to action today, I want to just plug the coverage that we're going to do of the State of the Union next week. Max, you made some predictions. You said what he should say, what he might say. We're going to see how all that pans out next Tuesday evening. We're going to do on Lincoln Square, on our Substack, on YouTube, all over the place. We're going to do a pre-show. We'll start about 10-15 minutes ahead of time with some comments. We're going to have a whole slate of guests coming through. We're going to watch live with Michael Fanone and Maya May and other people who may or may not have drinks with them during the speech, because it's kind of a necessity. And then Max, we're looking forward to having you host our after show to break down what we've all just seen and help us wash our eyes out. But it just won't come clean.
It's going to be great. People will get to see me managing my mental breakdown live.
Yes. So everyone tune in for that. Max, it's such a pleasure to have you every week. This was a really fun one.
Absolutely. My pleasure to be here. I hope we have even more victories coming up next week.
I think we will, at least in the quiz.
I don't know.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Tune in. We'll see you next time.